Good morning. How are you all doing? How are all the fasters? All the people that took food out for 3 days. Oh my God, how good you feel. It's a while since I've done a fast, but my God, how I love the feeling. So, we're going to do some breath work this morning. So, yesterday, what we're talking about was, don't get caught up in all the language and all the sales pitch and all of that stuff. Try out the breath work on your own body. And depending on how you're feeling, what you're wanting to achieve, what you're going through right now, different breath works are going to work for you better. Some are a real workout, some are really easy and gentle to do. So sometimes you want to just batter in, breathe all that pain and suffering out the body. Other times you just want to connect. And what I like from my breath work is that feeling of like, oh, colours and a complete change of state. So I'm quite like a more vigorous breath work, usually. I was always the same with my exercise, high impact aerobics, loud music. That's my Gemini side. So find something that you like, especially if you're just starting learning about the power of your breath. Now, in Southeast Asia, they start teaching the young monks, how to breathe at 5 to manage their emotions. And this is the enormous power of the breath. And this is why we have to be teaching our children how to breathe. You have to breathe through your nose. I'll talk about that again. Taping your kids' mouths at night to make sure to create the habit, to make sure that the air's going through the intelligent apparatus it's meant to be going through. The mouth's for eating and kissing. So nose breathing is critical for the day-to-day stuff. As soon as you go into more conscious, connected breath work, which is simply you overriding the program to breathe in a different way, then you can choose depending on what it is that you're trying to achieve. And you go back and look at yesterday's live, the 4-7-8 breath, just for calming you down, the 5-7 and the 7-5, you just switch it round, breathing out for longer than you're breathing in, or breathing in for longer than you're breathing out. Longer in the out breath to calm you down, longer in the in breath to gain more energy if you're having a slump. So understanding, though, that how you breathe will dictate your chemical state, and your state will dictate what you're thinking and what you're feeling. If you're not a master of that already, if you can see your feelings and realise that they're not you, that your feelings are just energy moving in and around, that could be there for a myriad of reasons, that you can change it simply by breathing differently. Now, what I want to focus on today is where you're breathing in the body. So we know we can go into stomach, chest, the head, and there's various different benefits for breathing into these different areas. Diaphragmatic breathing. The diaphragm is like a little octopus that goes down and comes back up as we breathe in, and then breathe out. The diaphragm comes back into place. But not just the diaphragm. If you've done any yoga breathing where you look at the respiratory system like a vase, so you're coming down all the way down into your belly, and the belly comes like into the bottom of the vase. So when you're breathing into the belly, you're imagining filling the bottom of the vase up with air before you fill in the rest. That's a good visual for me that I got taught decades ago. Oh, hi, Shirley. Yeah, absolutely, darling. This is going to really help you manage your emotions. So, but also really learning about the body. What are we doing when we deliberately override the program and all the stories and being in the past, being in the future, causing our own stress? We've got enough to deal with without actually going looking for more issues. What the breath work does, it takes you into this moment, and you're going, I'm overriding that program, and I am going to consciously connect into this body for this moment in time. Morning, Trisha. And I'm going to change my own chemistry deliberately. Now, this is something quite new for us in the West, and definitely for women as well as men, but men generally, and this is a generalization, they're very good at compartmentalizing things. Whereas us women, because we are multitaskers and we're looking after the whole family and the community, we are much more likely to be, on these higher states of alert. And when we're on these higher states of alert, we're putting the body into fight or flight, and the reality is a lot of us are not coming out of it. And what happens with all sorts of chronic fatigue, etc., is that we go into that adrenal response and we don't come back out. And as I've told you before, it's like driving your car in first and second gear and never going out of that. You wear the car out, and that's what's happening to our bodies. We're exhausted because of this. And and as you know, I'm a big proponent of letting go and mind, and how you can control your thoughts and change your speech and change your language and change your beliefs. I love all that stuff. But breath work, just come out the story and just breathe, and the body will do it itself. It will neutralize and normalize for you when you really actively override the program and the habits, because nobody's ever taught us. This is one of the things. I was 60 before I realised the power of breath work, and that is outrageous, because we all need to understand the power of the breath, but also the many, many different ways that you can do it in order to make yourself feel better and to give yourself even instant and temporary relief. Because there's a lot of emotions that we're having right now that are very relevant and need to be felt and need to be held and expressed and released. But if you're just dealing with stuff day to day, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, how, what, why, what, but, all that stuff, breath work is your way out of that, without any training, without needing to go to any therapist or anywhere, any retreat or anything. You can do this in your own house. So I'm going to get you just to do some deep breaths, and I want to see your belly, this actual, all your internal organs, all your reproductive organs, all your digestive organs. So you're breathing in through the nose and filling that area up, and then just letting it all go. Okay. And again. And breathing into right deep, right down to that pelvic bone if you can get it. Feel your belly coming out. Okay, and again. In through the nose. Now, I am getting lightheaded already. The fasting obviously puts you into a different state. How are you feeling? Can you feel the change in your own chemistry? Just sit for a minute with that. Don't hold your breath. Don't do anything. Just feel. What was that? 5 or 6 breaths? And you can feel the change in your state. Literally, every cell has already gone from oh to ah to And that's really the state we want to be in. So let's just keep going. Let's do another 5, and then we're going to do a breath hold into the belly. And let it go. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And in. Feel that belly expand, and out. And in. Keep going and let it go. 2 more. All the way in. Let that belly expand and let it go. 1 more. and let it go. And we're going to breathe in again, and then we're going to hold in the in breath. Breathing in and hold it. And then let it go. And we're going to hold on the out breath. Hold it again. Hold it. Feel. Allow. Witness. Release. You are the alchemist. In 3, 2, 1, we're going to breathe all the way in. Pull the intrinsic muscles, the pelvic floor, the abdomen, and squeeze that energy into your pineal gland through the base of the neck. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Use these muscles. And let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And just feel, allow, without judgment, without, am I doing it right? All of that bull that the mind comes up with. Set that all free now. And allow every one of your magnificent, intelligent cells just to hang out in the gravitational field, in the universal energy. Just allow. Let go. Let the innate intelligence hold you. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Feel the change in your own chemistry. You did that. Not me, not a doctor, not an expert, not a specialist. You changed your own chemistry. Well done. Okay, so that's the first one. So that's breathing into the belly. Now, if you're not a regular conscious breather, this is an exercise, right? So you're not going to be brilliant at it at first. And the body's going to be like, what's going on here? That feels weird. That feels awkward. Because you've not done it before. It's not because there's anything wrong with you. It's not because you're not good enough or any bullshit the mind might say. Am I doing this right? None of that. It's because you're learning. And you imagine a kid trying to learn to go a two-wheeler. They fall off, they'd stumble, and then they keep going because they're determined. You be determined to control your own emotional state and your own electromagnetic field. And when you come to a goddess gathering, you will see your own electromagnetic field in all its magnificent colours. And you will see where there's energy flowing and where there's energy stagnant and what you can do about it. And this breath work that I'm teaching you is one of these things. Okay, so that's into the diaphragm. Remember that the diaphragm sits underneath the rib cage. So really, I'm a visual learner. So when you think of that wee baby octopus coming in and how it's sending the signals up through your heart and into your brain, the magnificence and how that electromagnetic field that you are starts interacting and how your brain starts to change because you have taken control of everything that's going on there. And, it's baby steps. And the more you do this, the more trust you will have in that interconnection with the divine. That's what I call it. Call it the field, call it God, call it whatever word you want. It doesn't matter. We are part of this magnificent energy system we call the universe. It's all interconnected. We've got tons of data around that for those that like the data. Our heart right now, everybody that's on this live is we're all having interactions with each other because we're all wanting to be free from suffering, from pain, and from disconnection. All of us, it's all we want is peace in our hearts. And when we do this kind of stuff together, we have an exponential effect on each other because we are one.